Friday. We can do something Halloween if you want. Since you guys will be gone next week.
Halloween.
God's living his best life. We could do something Halloween with the cruise ships.
True. I've done the Disney cruise with the Halloween overlay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I want to use the big voice for the chainsaw thing.
Oh my god.
I want to be like, and then Goofy came out with a chainsaw.
With a chainsaw!
We don't have to, though. I'm just saying, it'd be kind of fun. I bought the mixer for that.
For that?
Just for that.
I paid
Just for that.
I paid $800 for that big voice.
Oh my god.
We don't have to do it, though. But it'd be fun.
It's so funny. One of the audio options in the settings is to reduce mic background noise. And it says, so I click a little thing. Oh, and there's little things. Browser not supported for background noise removal. So I click the little thing. And of course, it lists the browser that I'm using.
You are on. Okay, that works. Whatever.
Yeah. And not that I have a lot of background noise. It was just like a little thing.
It's just funny. Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Because it's AI, and AI is not smart. Artificial intelligence is not intelligent.
Well, yet.
Did you see Southwest made some big changes to rapid rewards for next year? It's going to be awesome.
I did not.
Yeah, they did.
More ways to earn your tier status. You can redeem with Cash Plus points.
Which is huge.
Fewer flights to get on the A list.
Yep.
Fewer flights to be A preferred.
Yeah.
Check one. I'm just getting our levels right.
I love Southwest.
I do too. I know
that you don't. I'm like, punch them in the face.
Right? I mean, okay, you don't get to pick your seat ahead of time.
No, I get to pick when I get on.
Yeah, exactly. I get to pick when I get on. And also, I mean, it's not a problem unless you're in C. I mean, and I'm always checking in at least 24 hours ahead of time. So I'm never in C. It's just, yeah.
You can pick.
I don't understand that either.
You can pick your nose. You can pick your seat, but you can't pick your seat.
And you get two bags for free. I don't have to pay for my bag, and I would much rather check my bag than try to carry it on the stupid plane and try to deal with all that.
Great.
I'd much rather just check it. Take my bags, please.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to check our levels real quick before we start. Okay, hang on. I'm going to check our levels real quick. Let's see. Why is this so screwy?
My bag, and I would much rather check my bag than try to carry it on the stupid plane and try to deal with all that.
Great.
I'd much rather just check it. Take my bags, please.
Okay, hang on. You can pick your nose, you can pick your seat, but you can't pick your nose to seat.
And you get two bags for free. I don't have to pay for my bag, and I would much rather check my bag.
Get some Pam. Gotta get some Pam.
I love Southwest.
I do too. And I mean, it's not a problem unless you're in C.
Okay, we're pretty good. We're pretty close. What is going on with this stupid software now? The mixer was messed up. Now the software is driving me crazy. I'm about to just throw something. It's one of those days. Now what's going on? Oh my God, now I don't even see the option to record. What the frickety frack? Here we go. Don't come back. Yes, you're welcome, Len. I figured you wanted to park hop, so I did that for you. Post. All right. So let me pull up some. I should probably pull up some questions.
Yeah, we are so glad we brought back all day park hopping. You're welcome.
Welcome. Oh, look at that picture on my screen. Pam taking batting practice at the Cardinals Hall of Fame. That's Stan Musial's bat that she's holding right there.
Well, that's cool.
Stan the man. My grandpa caught for him in high school.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable. Baseball's perfect warrior. Baseball's perfect knight.
Cement City. He was a Cement City kid.
That's really cool.
Yep, he's from Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Near Denora.
He is St. Louis is ultimate citizen. We love him.
I will tell you that my grandmother thought very highly of him. My grandmother and her sister thought very highly of Stan, and just like that, he was just such a nice guy.
Oh, okay, got
For
it.
their whole lives. I mean,
That's
you
awesome.
heard like what a great guy he was, and really
That's so
just
cool.
thought so.
Yeah.
I know.
He
You need like good heroes like that, right?
Until he died. Like he was just a great, like, he was always he lived in Chesterfield, right? You know, down where we kind of like the next city over from where we live now. He's always playing his like harmonica around town and doing charity. I mean, he's just awesome. Like he's just always giving his baseball swing. He's old guy. He's awesome.
Good guy. I have one of his autographed baseballs.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
I do, yeah.
I wore number 6 my sophomore year for Stan because I was a left-handed hitter. Okay, so, and thanks for all the shout outs for Mizzou, M-I-Z. Well, got to beat South Carolina this week, and then we get Georgia. It'd be awesome to be going into Georgia 7-1.
Well, there you go. You're gonna end up leaving 7-2, but
I don't know, because your tight end is your best player, ankle surgery, out for the rest of the regular season. You know, it's not good. I mean, I don't ever root for anybody to get hurt.
right.
It kind of evens it up a little. Okay, let me pull up a question here. We need questions. We need questions, please. We're a little low today.
I need to watch that later tonight.
A little low.
Apparently, there was a preview on Good Morning America this morning about Disney Jollywood Nights.
There was, and they said it was an adult-only event. I just read it on Twitter.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
An adult-only event?
I don't know about that. But okay.
Don't let it be on TV. Make it make you think that it's factual.
Hey, how about that little 100-year movie thing?
See,
That
I
was
haven't
so
seen it.
sweet.
I haven't seen it yet because, okay, so I have Dish and they have been in a dispute with our ABC station for literally the past year. I haven't had ABC for a year.
I think it's on Disney.
It is on Hulu and Disney Plus now. So I just have, I've been at work all day, so I have to, as soon as I get done here, I'll probably go and watch it. But yeah, I haven't, I was like all excited to watch it, and then was like, dang it, I still don't have ABC. So I'm bummed about that, but
it was really sweet. It made me cry, and it did because I was in that building not that long ago in the Adventures by Disney thing. So that was really cool. There is so much fantastic artwork in the studios building. So
that's so cool.
It was really cool. It was a very, very sweet little thing. Although my family was all excited because they were like, "Oh, it's Sunday night. We get to watch a Disney special." Blah blah blah. Yeah. And then the little movie was like 10 minutes, and then it was like Encanto, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like I wanted it to be like an hour long Disney, like 100-year special.
I get that, and surprisingly, it wasn't, since they did like the 2-hour thing for the 50th anniversary.
Here, save this for the show because we can talk about that at the beginning of the show.
Sorry, my bad.
We'll talk about that because I didn't watch it. Of course, football was on, so
of course it's our good talk that's happening now.
I know we're wasting it. Okay, because we don't have a ton of questions. That's good stuff. Okay, hang on.
Okay, we'll pretend like we didn't say it. We'll go back.
We know we are. Here we go. Because this is
second time.
Yes.
Right. This is gonna be 237.
Pretend like this is like
2373.
J Fox happening up in here.
5 will be Friday.
Oh, if only.
We'll have the Huey Lewis song going on too.
There we go. Gotta go back in time. Like so annoyed by us right now.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, dude, that's a great question.
We have answers, Len. We have answers.
We do have answers.
Dude, don't do it, man. I'm just saying.
Don't answer the question.
Just save it.
Mike, you know better. Save it.
Do not do it. No matter what anybody tells you, do not do
Save it.
carriages.
He's wrong. Okay.
I'm going to do that during the show. I got to use it. I'm telling you. It's amazing. Okay, here we go. Dude, I seriously hurt my voice doing that because I was so into it. I didn't even do it because the voice changes your thing and I just got yelling. Okay, here we go. That hurt. 2376. Okay, here we go. Ah, crap. Here we go. Too many buttons. Ah, dang it. It did it again. Hang on. Delete. Sorry. Down to a shorter time. Board 4041. I don't know why this thing's doing this. Here we go. I hope. Hang on. I can hear see, I got everybody too hot now, so I can hear that typing like big time.
As soon as you start, I will stop.
Okay, sorry, no, it's okay. Well, because I got everything too hot now. That's my problem because I changed all the levels and it's like picking it up big time. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 2373 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip. Hang on, let me just make sure it's recording right. This one more time. I'm nervous because the levels are different again. Welcome to episode. Yep, we're good. I can delete all that stuff out. Here we go. Get you guys down a little. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2373 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week and the fall is, falling for you, that you're having a great season, that it is cooled off around your part of the world and that you are enjoying what is traditionally one of the best times of the year. You're getting some football, some cooler weather, and getting out there and making some s'mores with the family on the weekends and just having a great time. And we're going to keep you company here for the next 35 to 40 minutes with some great Disney conversation. Of course, Wednesdays mean listener questions, which means we're all over the place, which I really enjoy because we turn the show over to you, our awesome listeners. So joining me today, we have Rikki, who you can find over at themouseforless.com just about every day. Rikki, happy Wednesday. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. And I know it's a little late, but happy 100th to the Walt Disney Company. We had the big celebration on Monday, and it was just, it's so great, when you think about the fact that it has been 100 years since, Walt and Roy got together and started this little dream, and look what it's grown into. So I just marvel at the fact that they, two brothers from, Missouri, Chicago, wherever you want to claim them from, were able to create such a massive, entity that, is something that obviously we all love because we're sitting here doing a podcast about Disney. So, it's just, I thank you to Walt and Roy. They will never truly understand the magnitude of what they have done. So.
I know, isn't it crazy? I mean, humble beginnings turn into something, because when you think about it, like, of course you got movies, you got, small TV specials, you have theme parks, you have amazing hotels, you have a cruise ship right now that's probably on the other side of the globe, people sitting down having a dinner in a cruise ship that has the Disney characters. You got Adventures by Disney. You got guides taking people to exotic places somewhere on this planet right now, because we've done those shows in the past. Right now at Walt Disney World, somebody is fill in the blank, and it's kind of fun to imagine that. We'll do that on Friday. Those are kind of fun shows. But I mean, like if you could, like if Walt could do that right now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he dreamed Disneyland. But I mean, like he probably had and he did enjoy going on ocean liners, but he probably could have never imagined like the full-fledged Disney cruise line we have today.
No. And I mean, of course,
by Disney and the storytelling of these exotic places. I mean, wow, what it's transformed into.
It has. And of course, it's not obviously what Walt necessarily envisioned. I mean, if you've ever seen the video, for the Epcot story, which if you haven't, search for it on YouTube or wherever, because it's a fantastic video. It is out there. And, if he just, held on for another couple years, you wonder, I mean, just how different this world could really have been, because his idea behind, a community was just insane. And he was probably the only one insane enough to maybe make it work. But so, of course, Disney, the company, is different than it probably would have been if he had, been able to hold out for another couple of years. But even still, the things that have come from what he started and Roy as well, what both of them started is just incredible to think about. So, it's, you're right. It touches every aspect of the globe, basically. I mean, I think they've said, there's, not a time when It's a Small World is not off, like it's always running, somewhere in this world. So, it's just, it's such a cool thing that, we get to be just a tiny part of helping to, tell Walt's story in a weird way. So
What was so shocking about 2020 is when, everything was closed. It was like, this is unprecedented, but
yes.
let's don't do that right now. So we're happy times right now. So also joining us, we have the owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Speaking of happy, one of my happy friends. And Pam, you're headed down to Walt Disney World for a big event next week. But before we start recording, you were talking about the Disney special, the 100th anniversary special there they had on ABC this past weekend. And you said, and I saw this on social media as well while I was watching football on Sunday night. Happy tears. I saw a lot of that happen.
Yes. It's funny how they take something like this. It really was just a small little segment there. And I was sharing before we started recording that my family was all excited because they were like, oh, it's Sunday night Disney. Like we're going to see a whole like special on the 100 years. And they thought it was going to be an hour-long thing and, whatever. But anyways, it was a very short and very meaningful little, trip down all of the Disney movies that we've really sort of come to love from Snow White on. And it was funny, as soon as they really sort of featured almost all the characters that you sort of know and love. And as soon as we would be like, well, what about characters from this movie? I didn't see any of them. And boom, then there would be one. And there were things like that. But I think it is so meaningful to so many of us because Disney movies and then the resulting theme parks and whatnot have played such an important part in our lives that to see that happening, to remember, like, you see the movies that were so 90s, at that time. And we ended up, after watching that, because we wanted to see a more classic movie, a movie that Hannah was more in touch with, when she was little, Tarzan was on, and she's like, I'm playing Tarzan because it has the most incredible soundtrack ever.
It
like,
does.
oh yes. I mean, it was just like Phil Collins was not going to take his assignment lightly. He put everything he had into that, right? But it is so 90s, like that genre of movies is so incredible. But just so many different movies over the years have just been incredible. And I don't even know if Tarzan was 90s or 2000s, but either way, it was
90s.
90s. I mean, it was the 90s vibe for sure.
For sure, right? I know, right? It really did. So I think that is one thing that Disney just does so incredibly well, is they take these little moments and remind us of the importance that they have in our lives. And there's just no other company that does it so well. There just isn't. No matter if you're mad at Disney at this moment, you're not mad at Disney, you still love Disney, whatever. I don't think there's much argument in the fact that they do that so well. They help with what essentially becomes our core memories. And I don't know if there's any other company. I know in my life, there's no other company that is a part of so many of those core memories. And I think that's probably true for a vast majority of those who are listening to this podcast, for sure. And just people in general. Disney's a part of so many memories.
It's so well said. And it's ironic that I just found this email that I hadn't found until just this moment when you were saying this, very much what you just said. And so the first email comes from a guy named Michael from the Midwest. I don't know where he's from in the Midwest, but it's Michael from the Midwest. He says, hey, love the show. Longtime listener since episode 1. Used to listen on an iPod Nano, and I listen in my basement. I listen in a Jeep, and I used to be a teacher. So shout out to all the teachers. Love the show. First time writer, longtime listener. Question for the podcast. With the Disney 100 celebration happening this year, what is the one core memory of the 100 years? It could be in the theme parks. It could be a time you spent in a movie theater. It could be a gift, a Disney gift that you gave your kid. What is the one core memory associated with Disney? If somebody held you to it right now, somebody came up to you and said, because it could be anything. It could be a TV show, a movie moment. It could be, what is the one associated Disney core memory that you have right now, Rikki? What is it? And this is going to go, and also got to wrap up this letter. Thank you for taking my question. This also goes out to the listeners of the podcast. ZOU. Okay, so thank you, Michael, in the Midwest. We appreciate you writing in. Okay, Rikki, what would your one? I mean, that's a big thing. It doesn't have to be parks. It could be a movie moment, or a you Halloween costume, or because I mean Disney does everything. They're so big. Oop, I think you're muted.
I am. Okay, good.
Miming isn't real good on the audio podcast.
Oh, you don't want me to do this? Okay. This is really, really tough because there are so many different things that make up my Disney moments. Like there's so many. I think the one that kind of sticks out though in my mind is because it's the one that really got me into Disney in the first place overall, is probably, seeing The Little Mermaid. I feel like, that for me, that's this, generation's Frozen or Encanto, and the fact of like, it was my generation's like, this is Disney, this is it, you know what I'm saying? Like this is everything. And it hit, just the mania hit just at the right time for my age group. So for me, I really do think it was just The Little Mermaid. I've had such a huge passion for that film since I was a kid. Obviously meeting Jodie Benson was one of the highlights of my life. And, having the ability to tell her, thank you for, what you did, helping to shape my childhood, that kind of thing. So I think that's what I would have to go with. But God, there are so many things that I could, could really say, I mean, from getting engaged at Disney, having my first trip with Lucy, and, just there's so many pieces of Disney that make up who I am. It's really hard to pick one, but that would probably be the start of it, to be honest.
I mean, when you've been to the parks, countless times, you've gone to so many movies at the theaters, you've watched countless shows on Disney Plus. I mean,
exactly.
How many times we watch Good Luck? We quote Good Luck Charlie around here all because that was just like our show. Like it was when Mallory was little. Like we just loved that show because Bob, the exterminator, he was awesome. Yeah, everybody in that show was like a great character. Like it was the greatest. We just love that show for some because the mom's sense of humor was perfect. But I mean, it's just one of those things, and then of course, what was Jesse? Hey, Jesse. Oh my gosh. Like we were in that era. That was like our Disney.
Yes.
It wasn't Disney Plus. It was the Disney Channel era. But, and Hannah Montana and Sweet Life and all that. That's when it was always on. Like it's, we're beyond that now with Mallory being a little older, but I mean, that was kind of like, it was, that was it. We lived the Disney TV life. Pam, what about you though? That one core memory that you have, like that would really stick out for you?
I know I've really been sitting here like racking my brain trying to think of one. And I think for me, it just ends up every Disney vacation I go on, it always, and I think the one thread that goes through all of them, the one thing that they all have in common is that they allow me to see the people that I'm traveling with in a different way, in a more meaningful way, or you know what I mean? It's not something that I'm not discovering something new about them. I think I'm just appreciating that person a little more and the time we get to spend together and whatnot. And maybe it is that I get to see them, in a different way. But I think while I think travel does that, period, I think that the Disney vacations do that too. It just has been the facilitator of that opportunity to just see and appreciate the people I'm traveling with in a new way. And I love that. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? to do that. It just is, it's overwhelming for me to even think about that. Like how many firsts there have been. You know what I mean? Like when you bring someone to the Magic Kingdom for the first time and they see that castle, it's like, or you're at Epcot seeing the fireworks and they're blown away, or you're at Animal Kingdom and you're in your safari vehicle seeing the giraffe that are about 2 feet away from you, or you're at Hollywood Studios and there for the holidays. I mean, or you're on an ABD doing I mean, it's just, they're too numerous to do, but that's just a very cool thing.
No, I
You just remind me what time it was.
Thanks, Mickey.
No, but I mean, I 100% agree, because I mean, kind of echoing with what you said, you know, during Illuminations, every time I was standing around World Showcase Lagoon, I swear, like I felt peace on earth was like, just, you could touch it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tangible. I mean, especially with like what's happening in the world right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's rough, but like God, every time I watched, especially around the Millennium, it was like thicker. Like it felt even more intense, because Glenn in the live chat with us here from Maryland says his core memory was Tapestry of Nations. That's a great one, man. That is a great one. I love that parade. But I mean, it was, you know, it took you, and it gave you a feeling that, like, you know, you have all these countries and you have all these international cast members and everybody's polite and everybody's getting along. Why can't this little microcosm of the world be the world? Why can't we just take this little piece and expand it out, and we can learn from each other. We can laugh with each other. We can share each other's cuisine. You know, we can just make everything a little bit better. You know, like it doesn't have to be like what's different about us. Yeah, we got differences, but differences are awesome, and let's embrace that. That's what Epcot was like, and that's what I love. But my core memory, real quick, I couldn't believe it was either the first or second podcast cruise. We're sitting at Castaway Cay, and we had that smoothie bar rented out, and I just remember we took a big old picture.
Yeah.
Behind us, all of us lined up. And I just remember I was like, good Lord, like we're standing here, not even in the United States of America. We're all Disney fans. And this all started because like we all have a passion for Disney. And we just started talking about it over, basically back then it was over Skype. I mean, it wasn't even video at that time. It was like we did like a, 3 times a week Skype call. And like here we are. And like my best friends have come out of that, but I mean, it all came back to Walt and Roy starting the Disney company, and it trickled down from that. I mean, if you think about it, from 100 years ago, from today, it's
crazy.
It's a domino effect, but I mean, it's just, it's pretty cool.
We need some background loops to help everybody in the world.
Oh,
a little background music would make all the difference.
Stop! You're killing me. I miss it so much. Background loop Tuesday. I miss it.
Well, Magical Mouse or Angel Mallory when she was like 3 doing my sweepers.
Yes.
You're listening to Magical Mouse Radio. That was so cute. I used to make her. I'd be like, "Nah, get in here," and then she'd be like, "What? Get over here on the mic. Just say that." Say what? No, you didn't say it right. Say it again. That's so many. Oh, so fun. Okay, anyway. So related to Friday's show where we talked about if you were CEO for a day, we got some feedback from Mark. He says, hey, Mike, you've done it again. One of my favorite think-abouts. I listed 3 below. He says, okay, 4. He would change if he was CEO for a day. 1, Magical Express. Good call. That was mine, I think. Number 2, nighttime parades at the Magic Kingdom. Spectral Magic, specifically. God, I love them. Bring back the little kids having nightmares about the trumpet people. Those things are great.
They were crazy.
They were, man. Those dancing ostriches, man. They still kind of scare me. And he says, number 3, 50% of Pandora in Main Street. My wife's begging for that. Okay, because that ain't ever happening. I'm gonna go to bring back Fast Pass ticket booths, included for Tron, put in place after all we're all Disney fans. He says, man, I miss those night parades. It's crazy. They say they can't cope with it with all the crowds. That's the reason for stopping them. But it felt like the Magic Kingdom had 80,000 people back in the 2000s when we used to go. And we saw the Main Street Electrical Parade twice. We loved it. We just watched it on YouTube, actually. Really cool. Imagine today with the LED lights, what they could do. Don't worry, Mike. If I'm ever the CEO, I'm bringing it back. Take care from the UK. Mark. And he says, see y'all in January. Can't wait. The 21st, we land for the kingdom. good thoughts. I mean, I like the way he thinks. Very nostalgic minded. That's.
I will admit though, when he said Pandora, I thought immediately of the land and Animal Kingdom, and was like, wait, why does he want that?
Oh, is that the jewelry?
Yeah, he's talking about the jewelry. Yeah.
I'll be honest, when I don't understand them, I just read it and just keep rolling because I'm just like, okay, I don't know. So yeah, that's what we got. Okay, cool. All right, here we got a question from Len. Speaking of Len, here in the live chat, and this is a very important question for folks going out to the West Coast because we got a lot of runners headed out that way in January. Len says, any thoughts on the big Ferris wheel at Disneyland? What's the current name of the fair? Is it Mickey's Fun Wheel? Is that what it's called right now? It's changed name.
Pixar Pal Around.
Huh? Mickey's Pal Around. That's right.
Pixar Pal Around.
Pixar Pal Around. Everything changes so many names. We were doing the live call-in show on Sunday night. We couldn't remember the name of the Moana thing. It's Moana: The Journey of Water, right?
Well, it's Journey of Water inspired by Moana.
No, see, that's what it was. We what was first? Like we were trying. I'm like, it's the water attraction with Moana. I can't remember.
Yeah, just call it Journey of Water, or the Moana.
It's just going to be called Moana.
Yeah,
like let's be honest, it's going to be called Moana.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
And we boiled it down to why can't we just have things like Test Track?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's got to have this long.
Yeah, but Test Track presented by Chevrolet.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh my Lord. Anyway, back to Glenn. What can't seriously? Space Mountain. Like that's simple. It's spacey and it's a mountain.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy could have just been called,
Cosmic Rewind. We don't need all that stuff. Just whatever. Anyway, because there's going to be another Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Well, I guess there's one on the West Coast.
Well, no.
One's like, answer my question, people. Anyway, he says, any thoughts on the big Ferris wheel at Disneyland? Are the gondolas that run along the track that is inside the wheel as scary as it looks? Tell me you can pick either a stationary gondola or a moving gondola. Hang on.
Don't do the inside gondolas, whatever you do. Those things are crazy.
My God.
Okay. Stop. You guys can take over. Rikki, have you done those?
I've only done the swinging gondolas. I love the swinging gondolas, but that is because I'm crazy. They are definitely a little intense. I'm not gonna lie. But they are so much fun. I mean, you aren't going to go anywhere. You're, in this enclosed, thing. So you're good. And it's a Disney ride. So, hopefully you're fine. But I mean, when it starts to just, you feel it start to creep down a little bit and then it just goes whoosh and takes off. I'm telling you, there's definitely a thrill in that, and it is awesome. So if you're a thrill seeker, I absolutely suggest these swinging ones. If you're not, though, I agree with you, don't do it. But I've never not done the swinging ones because to me, they're just awesome. So I'm going to say swinging, but I also, apparently like to take life in my own hands. So.
His question is, though, can you pick? You can pick. There's two lines. And obviously, the swinging one's lines is usually shorter, so that's good.
Of course. And you go either left or right. Like, there's through the main entryway, and then you pick which side you want to go on.
And I made darn tootin' that I did not get in the wrong line. I'm telling you.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
Pam, because here's the thing. Like, I've heard, and see, I heeded the warning, because I've heard from people that are pretty adventurous. They're like, dude, don't do it. Like, they're worse than they look even. Like, that's what I heard from more than one person. So I was like, I'm not playing with this, dude. I know when like there's, something's going to bite me. I'm not doing it. And I didn't. Pam, have you gotten in there?
Yeah, I've done both. And it wasn't the fear factor that got me.
It's not the fear. I don't want to get sick.
It's the swaying.
You're right. The swaying after is pretty intense too. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe it. Because it really is sort of a swinging motion while you're there. It is. And I'm not going to say that there's not any fear to it, because you really do slide down and then you sort of swing back and forth for a while, right? And it is the swinging back and forth that really got me. But it is a spectacular view. I will say. It really does. Gives you a nice view. You can see over towards Disneyland most of the time. You can see out over the park. It gives you sort of a great perspective on that. But yeah, it's the swinging. It's the swinging.
It's a cool like kinetic look to the like when you're not on the attraction.
Oh
you know,
yeah,
the water. You got the Incredicoaster there too. Like I love the look of California Adventure, but I love the kinetic because you have the stationary gondolas, and then you also have because I the way the motion of those things is so cool because like Rikki said. You could watch them and then you hear people screaming inside of them because they they creep at first.
It does, and then it goes.
I mean, they're a riot to watch. Like I love watching.
It reaches a tipping point.
Yeah,
and then it slides down, and then it definitely does that. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. So.
All right, putting you on the spot, Pam, favorite ride or attraction at DCA right now? What do you got? Give us something.
You know what? I love Radiator Springs. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's good too. Web Slingers is really it's a really good one too.
I think those are my two as well. Like Web Slingers and Radiator Springs. Those are both just phenomenal attractions.
So fun.
So fun. I like the Incredicoaster too. And I've said for a while, what they need to do is they need to redo. I know so many people are going to hate this idea, but they need to redo Rock and Roller Coaster and make it the Incredicoaster. I think it would be really easy to do, and just make it an indoor version of the Incredicoaster. And I think it would be such a fantastic idea because we all know they ain't going to last forever. So it would be a really good idea.
Don't play with that, man.
I know. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't say a specific one. But I'm just saying, like, we're coming up on it here.
Even if they were to change it to a different band in the future, again, eventually you'll run into the same
problem.
Thing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you made it the Incredicoaster, I feel like that would be such a great idea. We don't have really an Incredibles, presence at, the Hollywood Studios, except for the street that they've made the Incredibles area just because it was there, and they aren't using it for Toy Story Mania anymore. So I feel like that would be a really good way to update Rock and Roller Coaster at some point. And the idea is right there. Like, just go for it. It's fine. Just go for it.
Okay, so I got to ask you this, and I'm going to get our listeners' thoughts on this because my wife swears this is true, and I think it is, but I can't believe that it is. So when you ride Incredicoaster, you go through like a tunnel at the top of one of the hills.
Yes.
Is this supposed to smell like Jack's Nom Nom cookies in that tunnel?
Yeah.
It is supposed to. Like that's a thing.
Yes.
Okay, she swears. She's like, it smells like those cookies. That's a thing. Okay, I was like, it does. I was like, but I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's in your head.
No, it's not in her head. It actually does smell like the cookies. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll have to tell her that because
she's not crazy. It really does smell like the cookies.
That's intentional. Okay.
Yes.
You're trying to sell cookies on the roller coaster. You're kidding Disney. You're so smart.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know it was like a real thing. And we are not changing the coast. I see enough of her on football. We're done. We don't need any more of that.
Thanks, Jay. We're not changing it to Taylor Swift. That's definitely a rumor I've seen this week. And no, it's not
football. True. Like seriously, stop. Okay, we have a mini trip report here, like a few paragraphs from one of our listeners. It is from Catherine in Minnesota, just back this week. So she says, "Hey, Mike and BOGP crew. I just wanted to give you a review of my recent Walt Disney World trip that my family of 3 took in September. It was my husband, myself, and our daughter that turned 3 on our last day. We stayed at the Riviera from September 9th through the 15th. So happy birthday to your daughter, who is now 3.
Yay.
And welcome to the world of buying tickets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her name is now Ouch.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the day when I have to actually buy an annual pass for Lucy because it's
Valerie went from 2 to 6. No, I'm just kidding.
Shh, don't say that, Mike.
I'm just playing. You can't do it anymore. It doesn't work. No. Our first park day was Hollywood Studios. We love the convenience of the Skyliner and with a single stroller being able to roll it right on. I am expecting and was 7 months pregnant at the time of the trip. Congratulations. So while Dad did a lot of the e-ticket attractions, My daughter and I had a great time meeting Woody, Jesse, and Buzz and going to the Disney Junior dance party. Looking back, I never felt like I was missing out, even though I only rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Toy Story Midway Mania, as the shows are so great at the studios. It's a great point. And you know what? With little ones, that little Disney Junior dance party is awesome. We got great pictures of Mallory when she was real little, like when those little things fall out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like shooting up at her. She's trying to catch them. Some of the best pictures we've ever gotten at Walt Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Lisa says, wait till she's 10. There's not that big a difference in the ticket price. I mean, it's a bigger jump when they're free to the.
Right.
Yeah. Then you get a little, just second little shot there when they're 10. She continues. Our second park day was Epcot. Again, the Skyliner was great. We rope dropped Remy's Ratatouille adventure, then headed to meet Anna and Elsa in Norway, a highlight for our Frozen loving daughter. After riding Frozen, we had an incident while we were eating lunch in Mexico. Our daughter fell off her chair head first. All the other moms at the restaurant were so nice, getting ice and offering Band-Aids, but we stopped eating and headed straight for first aid, which thankfully was super close to Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't know where that is, it's right there by the Odyssey. Those bathrooms.
Yes.
I've had to go there before. I had a blister. I know, weak.
No, that's all right. I've gone there too for ibuprofen. You're fine.
I need a Band-Aid. I will say they were super helpful, and I was glad that Disney has first aid available. After that, Dad stayed at the park to do some rides like Guardians, while my daughter and I rode the Skyliner back to the Riv. I like she's using it correctly. To take a nap and ended up doing some swimming. We headed back to the park that evening to enjoy some food and wine booths. The next day was our Halloween party. I know that many people decide to take the morning off and then go to the party. However, we decided to go to Hollywood Studios in the morning and take the following day off so we could relax, do the pool, and just go with the flow the day after the party. We decided not to do the Animal Kingdom this trip, even though it's my favorite behind the Magic Kingdom, as the safari has an expectant mother's advisory.
Yes, it does.
And I would have only been able to ride Navi River Journey.
Yep.
After a few hours at the studios, we went back and took a nap before the party. Smart. And I love that idea, because as much as you want to ride it, nothing is worth it in that ride. Those attractions will be there the next time. Right. I mean, you guys know. I mean, I think the temptation's there, like, oh, we're there. And it's probably because, I told Pam one time, it's like, it's not much worse than riding in my Jeep. But I mean, seriously, then I was like, it's not worth it. Like the ride's going to be there for the next 30 years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So let's don't risk it. A couple more paragraphs. We decided not to get there until around 6, since that's when the regular day guests had to leave. Since it was our daughter's 3rd birthday at the end of the week, we wanted to get her a princess dress of her choice. Our first stop was Sir Mickey's, and she chose an Anna dress. Our priorities at the party were rides, the parade, fireworks, and getting some candy. The entire night was supposed to rain, but it never did. Yes. We were a little disappointed that the Gravediggers didn't perform, and a few people weren't in the parade since they were trying to speed it up. But I was just grateful we got to see the parade and it was not canceled. While we were eating a quick bite at Pecos Bill's, we got so lucky that my husband walked outside to look at the weather, as there was an announcement that the fireworks would be going off 15 minutes early. He came in and he told a few tables around us, and they hurried up and ate as well. Overall, the party was great and so much fun. Our last park day was the Magic Kingdom. We started off by having a 7:30 a.m. breakfast reservation at Chef Mickey's. So we took a minivan to the Contemporary. I love minivans, she said. This reservation was great, and my daughter was the first to meet Mickey Mouse that morning in the restaurant. A few highlights were that my husband went with my daughter on her first roller coaster, Space Mountain. Just kidding.
Nice.
No, they didn't. I'm just seeing your.
Oh, I mean, hey, 3-year-olds could be tall enough, right?
I'm just playing. It was the Barnstormer.
Okay.
I would do that with my 6th graders, just see if they were paying attention. See, I was make sure you weren't like.
I was paying attention, but I know that there are some tall 3-year-olds out there.
No, I didn't think about that. I should have said something like Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, you should have said Rock and Roller Coaster. That would have been a lot more. Yeah.
Just to see if you're paying attention. Anyway, back to the Barnstormer. They also rode the train. My daughter met Cinderella, along with doing a bunch of rides. We actually got stuck on Pirates and had to get evacuated off. Cast members had to get in waiters to move the boat.
Yep, they do.
It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
And we ended up getting 2 lightning lanes for the inconvenience. What did the people in the waiters get for their inconvenience? Nothing.
Well, that's because they were the cast members. So
exactly, but they're the ones that were inconvenienced. They had to put on the waiters. Anyway, I was a little bummed since let's see. I was a little bummed since I loved the Festival of Fantasy parade and knew we wouldn't be there for the 3 p.m. parade since we always take a midday break. When we came back at night, it was a downpour most of the evening, but we didn't let that stop us. We got to ride more rides, met Ariel, and the rain ended up stopping, and we got to see Happily Ever After. I absolutely loved that show. Our last date, we did breakfast at Topolino's, which was our daughter's birthday, and our daughter kept saying, I want to come back, Mommy. And we kept saying, we did too. I love Disney World, and we have so many great memories of going there as a kid. I love that my daughter has had the chance to go a few times before she turned 3, and those are some of the best memories that we've created as a family. The podcast will get me through until the next trip. Thanks for all you do, and keep creating the magic. Catherine in Minnesota. I mean, isn't that what it's all about right there, that email?
That's
Yes,
awesome.
it is. I think it's that we all relate with the I want to come back again feeling, right? It's like,
Yes.
even if I go on a big long trip, and then at the end, I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to come home. Like, I've done what I've set out to do and whatever. And then I get home, and after a couple of days, I'm like, but I just want to go back. I think I just want to go back. So I love it.
And I could just imagine the pictures they have too. You know what I'm saying? Now they've been back for about a month, and you go back and, a year from now, Google Photos will pop up and be like, on this day last year, and you see the picture of your daughter, and she was, on her 3rd birthday at Chef Mickey's, being the first person to meet Mickey Mouse that morning. It's just priceless. That those are the memories that we try to make. I mean, that's it. So thanks for sharing that. We sure appreciate that, Catherine. That made my day. Thank you. All right, last question of the day is from Sarah. She says, hey, Mike and BOGP crew. I live in the Northeast and was looking to book a Disney cruise out of the New York City port and noticed there are no cruises going out of that port in 2024. Does Disney cancel cruises out of New York City from time to time, or is this port no longer an option for us? I love listening to the podcast on my way to work while I drink my pumpkin spice coffee. Y'all are the best. Thanks, Sarah. One thing, she's from New York and she used y'all. Is that?
No,
is
yeah,
that
I like it.
Is it?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's like, is that even a thing?
Yeah, it's
universal. It's pumpkin spice latte, though. That's a Northeast thing, right?
No,
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. See, I don't like anything pumpkin. Nothing.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I don't either. I mean,
pumpkin's delicious.
I do like pumpkin. I like pumpkin seeds with a lot of salt on them. Like, you take them out of the pumpkin, you carve it, you bake them.
No.
And I like the David ones that come in the pouch, like sunflower seeds.
Also not the same thing. No.
So
give me a good pumpkin pie and I'm a happy girl.
Pumpkin pie just looks weird. It's brown. I mean, dude.
It's not brown. First of all, it's orange. If it's brown, you have cooked it too long. Ask the lady who complained to Marie Callender about her pie a couple of years ago. And yeah, you've cooked it too long. That's on you. So yeah,
you know what I have every year? My mother-in-law gets me 2 chocolate cream pies for my birthday at Thanksgiving, and I love my mother-in-law Lane. By the way, she's going on her first cruise in July on the Disney Wish.
Nice. I mean, pumpkin pie is the best.
I'm going. I think I've said this before. I'm going on the Fantasy the next week. I'm not going on the same cruise. I love her, but we just had ours booked before they booked theirs, so it's just ironic that they're coming back to Walt Disney. We're gonna be at Walt Disney World one day at the same time. The day after the cruise, they're staying at Beach Club. We're going to be there the day before we head out on the Fantasy. It's not intentional. I swear. I promise. I would say she's awesome. I love Elaine. Okay. So what was the question? Oh, it's about New York. Pam, help us out here.
They actually just have a number of different itineraries that they rotate through. It's not that they canceled anything because there's not anything sort of set in stone, except for you're probably typically always going to be able to find 3, 4, and 7 nights out of Port Canaveral. Anything other than that, and
it's
you may just be looking to see what's there. So the New York cruises are very specialized too in terms of where they can actually go to. You're typically only going to see them in certain months going from New York down to Bermuda, and then in the fall sometimes, and you will see them in New York going up to Canada. And that, I believe that's all that Disney has done in that space. Other cruise lines sort of could do New York up to Canada even in the spring at different times. But yeah, that's why. So whenever, like, we tend to make a big deal about it when new itineraries are released, because it's interesting to see where they're going to go and all of that, to see what the new season will bring. So
Yeah,
hopefully
agreed.
we'll have something in the coming itineraries that are released that we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that I took from New York was in the fall. It was in September. And that was to Canada. But that was a very unique cruise. I think Disney was trying the itinerary. I don't know if it went well because they've never done it again. But I loved it. I thought it was really cool. They get to go to some of these like really small towns in Canada that, I'd never heard of until I booked the cruise. So that for me was really cool. I do think that fall tends to be like the time when they do a lot of the New York cruises, and I know that they've done some down to, like they've had stops in like the Port Canaveral area, and people get to go to Disney World, for the day. So I know that they've done that too. So, but yeah, like Pam said, it kind of hit or miss. It's not like they canceled anything. They just, haven't done that itinerary maybe, for the next little bit of time. But maybe the next release, they'll have a New York itinerary. So we can only hope, right?
Yeah.
I've also heard it's related to how bad the Mets, the Yankees, the Jets, and the Giants are. Like their professional sports teams horrid, and so they're not even getting a cruise ship close to that because they don't want to catch that funk.
No, not
That's
it.
what I heard. I mean, that's Frankie, a Disney Cruise Line, unofficially told me that. So
No.
Frank, I'm just playing. Frankie didn't tell me that. I'm just hanging it on him because we talk sports all the time. But it could be. I'm just saying. New Yorkers know. I mean, I get it. It's been a rough year. So that isn't the reason. That was just me making a small joke at Yankees and Mets and Giants and Jets fans. But the Jets did beat the Eagles, so that was pretty hilarious on Sunday. All right, so we are going to get out of here, but we need more questions, so you can email those at any time to mike@beourguestpodcast.com, mike@beourguestpodcast.com. Just put listener question in the header, and watch for a special announcement, because next Monday, we may do a live call-in listener question show during the slot. So it would be early evening on Monday around 5:30 Eastern. So watch for that, because instead of taking, we'd take these kind of questions, and I'd be the only one here because Pam and Rikki headed down to Walt Disney World. Scott says he'll do a show with me, but that cat's going to be getting off a flight. I mean, just right off a plane from Hawaii. I don't know. I mean, that's taking one for the team. I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's overestimating his ability to do this.
Yes.
I like the effort. I mean, I'm just getting it back up. So
yes, I feel like The Walking Dead for a few days.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming back from a 6-hour time difference. I'm like, what is happening? Where am I?
You think you can do it for a minute, and then you're like, oh no, this is not.
Because he's on that side of it.
Yes.
He's not on
this side of it.
That's harder, right? Coming east is harder, right? That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Well, for them, probably it will be, just because you're just so tired, period. Yeah. It's like you're vacation tired, you're jet lag tired, I don't know what time it is tired.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Jay says, because he's a pilot, he says whenever he comes back from Hawaii, he goes straight to bed. So see, that's why I kind of want to do it.
That too, actually.
I just think it would be a riot. Like, I just think that he'd be half incoherent.
Like his flight gets in, what did he say, 8 o'clock in the
8
morning?
in the morning.
So yeah, I mean, it would be really hard to go right to bed at that point.
Maybe
Yeah,
take a nap. I don't know. I don't think
you'd
wake back up though. So anyway, watch for the announcement.
I do the mid-afternoon flights for that. Let's just put it that way, because then you can. I'm like Jay. Then I can just go straight to bed. I'm done. Yeah.
I just think it'd be funny, but that's why Scott's my best friend, man. He's like, it'd be hard, but I can do a show with you if you need me to, because Pam and Rikki are going to be gone. I'm like, I love you, but I just don't know if it's going to happen, man. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, you are going to be so tired. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to stand up, but we'll see. So but watch for the announcement, because I love to have listener questions. It'd be a different listener question show. So watch for that. It'll be 4:30 or 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central next Monday. So pay attention for that. All right. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. This week, love to help you get to a Disney destination: Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney. We can take care of it all and get you booking bonuses, get little fun stuff to play with on your a vacation, like a Disney gift card, the awesome, which I guess when they come back, they always say, you know what came in clutch? That laundry bag. Seriously, I hear that more often than anything. They're like,
Pam,
if you want to send me another laundry bag, I'm just saying I could probably use one or two.
I'm still using one that the words wore out of.
I know, mine too.
It holds up. So I'm just saying, it works even better. Onboard credits for Disney Cruise Line. Man, just don't spend them for tips. If you do, just don't tell me. But yeah, we want to help you plan a great vacation. More importantly, we just want you to have the best time ever. So check out all the details over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. Holiday season's coming. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our patrons. You guys make all this possible. Think about our archive, over 2,300 episodes, and we do video. So we have a lot going on, and our patrons make this possible. Also, our patrons get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to support us, just $5 a month. It's like the cost of one of those pumpkin spice coffees that our listener was having up there in New York. One a month. Come on. Swap it out for a Coke Zero. Give us some support this week. It's patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a follow on social media. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs, RIKKINIBS. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. We'd love to talk to you this week. All right, we'll be back again on Friday, and I have a great idea. I think we're going to go out to sea and maybe talk a little Disney Cruise Line, since we just talked about that, because we haven't done that in a little bit. But we just want to hang with you guys and always talk Disney and talk about the good stuff in life. So until we get back together again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. We saved that. How about we talk about what Disney Cruise Line does better than anybody else? Like what do we think Disney Cruise Line does the best? Or does really well?
All right. I like it.
Episode was it 2, 3, 7, 3. I hope this sounds good. They're all wonky.
Wonky.
And try to sneak a Coke out of here without knocking the sound down. Oh, see what this sounds like.
Stop, you're killing me. I miss it so much.
First to meet Mickey Mouse. Okay, that sounds pretty good. All right, close. All right, here we go. Oh, she's gone. I looked up and Ricky's out there. Man, we had chili last night. Pam made it in a crock pot, and it was so good.
It's the weather for it.
Oh, so good. I know it was chilly last night.
It's like already turned into sort of crazy weather here.
See,
like in terms of like fall-ish, not nice.
Because it got sunny today, so it's almost 63 right now. It says it's nice. It's in the sun. It's nice.
It just sort of is dreary here right now. We did have some nicer fall days though, so.
Yeah, it was dreary all weekend.
Today
it got sunny, so it'll probably be sunny out your way tomorrow, hopefully.
It was sunny on Saturday here, and then it dropped. The bottom just dropped out completely. Now it's cold, and I hate it. We haven't even gotten much fall here. It's kind of a bummer.
You'll probably have some warm weather coming, I'm sure.
A little, but not much.
All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 2375 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're ready for a great weekend. Football, fun, friends, Frankfurters, whatever you like. Have some good food. I don't know. Fazoli's, if you like fast Italian, whatever it takes.
The breadsticks. If you like good breadsticks, yes, Fazoli's.
We have a Fazoli's kind of by us, but I haven't had that in years. I don't
we
even know
don't have one by us at all.
Yeah.
The closest one is in Valdosta, although there is like a little pop-up Fazoli's somewhere here in Atlanta. I've heard of. It's
I'd
interesting.
totally trade you a Fazoli's for a Zaxby's in a heartbeat. Rikki.
Done. All the breadsticks. I'm here for it.
Oh.
And you can have Zaxby's.
Oh man, closest one here's Como, and that's where I'll be tomorrow for homecoming. You know, Mizzou invented homecoming. Our school came up with the idea of homecoming. So if you celebrate homecoming in your high school or your college, thank us because we brought that up. Anyway, playing South Carolina, MIZ. So let's talk a little Disney. We're going to head out to sea today and talk about Disney Cruise Line, the things that Disney Cruise Line does so well in our estimation, our favorite things about Disney Cruise Line. So Rikki's joining us from the Mouse for Less. We all sail on Disney Cruise Line. What's your favorite ship right now, Rikki?
Oh man, that's hard.
Well, who's your favorite kid? I mean,
yeah, that's easy, Brian. No, I'm just joking. Of course it's Lucy. Of course it's Lucy. No,
you and Pam got that one easy. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, that's true. I do. Yes. Gosh, I do love the Dream. I honestly, the Dream or the Fantasy, I think are still my favorite ships. I very much enjoyed the Wish, and I like the Magic a lot, and I'm just cheating by answering all the ships that I've been on. Just got to get on the Wonder until they come up with the Treasure and the Adventure. But you know, for now, I've 4 out of 5 ships ain't bad. I'm probably gonna go the Dream. Probably the Dream. Yeah.
All right. I'll take that. I'll take that answer. And also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, happy Friday. How are things out in the Keystone State this weekend?
Happy Friday. We're in the middle of fall, so it can be a great day or a gloomy day. We'll take a good fall day is a pretty good day, though.
I agree.
I mean, really.
I agree. Yeah,
there's not much better. So
I agree with that. So we're gonna put you on the spot right now.
You know my favorite. I've said it since I sailed there the first time. The Wish was my favorite. It truly is. It has the things that are the most important to me are taken care of on the Wish, and
that's true. That's true.
I mean, it just is, and I think I love the way that the spaces can sort of change around. I love the different lounge spots, so I think that's cool. That I enjoy.
You love lounges? This is brand new information,
right? Yes, it's so new. And I like too that each of the lounges has like a different menu.
Yeah, that's
in
cool.
terms of that. Like there are sort of cool drinks available, and there's just something to discover. And pretty much I could be up a stairs at in the Rose, like looking out at the water just all day long. It's just such a cool location. So anyways, like it.
See, I love this. Like we pick the Dream, you pick the Wish. I go Fantasy. Like I love the Fantasy, and it's not
a great show too.
Or anything like that. I don't know, but it's we've made some great memories on the Fantasy, which is a big part of it with podcast cruises and stuff like that. But it's also that it does 7-nighters, so that doesn't hurt.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah,
I like the design of the Dream and the Fantasy, where to me, again, here it is with. I think if I sailed the Wish more in that class ship more in the future, I would be. The Wish ship though to me seemed very girly. You know what I'm saying? It seems very. It does.
Oh.
I mean, Cinderella's the theme, right? I mean,
well, I think the Treasure will feel very different for you then.
I was gonna say that because it's more Adventureland. It's more like it's gonna be more like a pirate ship, and I'm like, oh, get me on that ship. Like I think I'll really like that. Because I think it's going to be more dark and more like wood and like I don't know, like it just feels like it'll be more like rustic, and I'm for that. But I love that everybody's gonna. That's a great thing about a cruise fleet to have differences, is that everybody can like something different. And I have no problem with the Wish, but I 100% agree. I'm going to like the Treasure better in the same class.
I'm wondering if it's kind of like the people that like Beach Club over Yacht Club or vice versa. I feel like that's the dichotomy we're going to get with the Wish and the Treasure is like, the Wish is more like the beach club and airy light feeling, and then I think the Treasure is going to be more like the yacht club, which is going to be the darker wood colors, that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of how it's going to be on between those two, and it'll be interesting to see what the third ship ends up coming up with too, because we have the third ship coming out from this line, the Triton class. And of course, it will be very similar to the other two because they're all three sister ships. So it'll be really interesting to see the route that Disney takes with that ship as well. So yeah, I see the difference between the Wish and the Treasure as like the beach club and the yacht club difference.
Yeah, it's like same bones, different dressing.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. And I agree, and I think that's what. It's exciting because with something like that, you can feel familiar because if you've sailed the Wish, you're going to know like, okay, this is where, for example, if you know where the Star Wars lounge is on the Wish, I'm guessing that's where that Periscope lounge, the 20,000 Leagues lounge is going to be on the Treasure, right? I mean, I don't know 100%, but that's a good bet. It's probably going to be a different theme, but that's probably where the lounge is going to be because the bones are there. It'd be more expensive to kind of totally redesigned. It could be different.
Yeah. Oh no, they're going to be the same bones. Absolutely. For those who didn't like the Wish, the way that the Wish was laid out, I don't think you're going to like the Treasure. But if it was the theme of the Wish, then you might like the Treasure. So yeah, but the bones.
One of the places I loved on the Wish was the Keg and Compass. But again, that was like the one part of the ship that I felt was like wood. Like it reminded me of like 687, and it felt like a den. You know what I'm saying? Like it, I don't know. Yeah. And the Wish was fine. But I loved like the Kiss Goodnight and had that stage in the atrium. I don't know, like the fantasy. And plus, here's the thing about the fantasy of the dream. This is what the show is going to be about today. We're just kind of spitballing about it.
Apparently, yes.
I just felt like talking about cruise line because it's getting a little chilly and I wish I was on a boat.
Right.
So that's the bottom line. It's weekend and I just wish I was on a Disney cruise line ship. But like, I think too, the dream and the fantasy are more predictable. Like they're easier to get your bearings quicker because like I think of it as like the back of the ships where all your adult stuff is, other than like the swimming pools, and the adult like swimming areas. But you got, like for me, I like to get my on the dream and the fantasy, I like to get my stateroom aft in somewhere like in the middle, like I like it like deck 9, deck 8, deck 7, aft facing stateroom if I can get it, because then I can just go down to the adult areas or go up to cabanas, and dude, I'm fed and I'm entertained. That's the way I look at it. And then everything else I can walk to, forward to go shopping or to go swimming or to go to the theater or whatever like that. But that's kind of my jam. But I don't know, Pam. So what do you think, like overall philosophically? I mean, we haven't even touched on the Magic of the Wonder because I haven't sailed that class for a little while, like since Mallory was probably 8 or 9. We went to spring break on the Wonder. When's the last time you sailed a classic ship? It's been a little bit.
It's been a while because I really do. I like all of the improvements and things that they add each time. Like I've those are the things I really appreciate about a ship. That's why I like some of the Royal Caribbean ships so much. And I had a great experience on Virgin too. I like, there's some great things about that. But I think in terms of, where you're saying like, where do I like my stateroom, or is that what we're looking for here? Or
I just want to talk about, kind of the topic of today's show is what do we think, and you, because you have more experience with other cruise lines, like you've sailed Virgin now, which you came back Raven, you and Jocelyn, and they had that at the end. Like, what do they do well that we wish Disney they could bring over to Disney?
You know what? One of the things that Virgin does so well that I wish they would bring over to Disney is the food.
Oh, really?
What about it? I mean, what specifically? Like, give me an example.
Okay, so the choices in terms of that they have. So Virgin doesn't have restaurants that you pay more for. They have a bunch of restaurants around, and it's included. Like, to go to it is included, and the food is the caliber of like a good sit down restaurant all the time.
Okay.
So I feel like that to me was, I mean, I thought that was outstanding. Just the time like that. So that I really appreciated that about Virgin. And it just felt like a more casual cruise experience because it wasn't so structured. You didn't have, because they have so many different restaurants, you don't have everyone going to dine at the same time, like, or two times, or you don't have everyone go and see the show at the same time because they may have a couple different shows and a few different activities. It just felt like a more casual experience, which I really appreciated for that. But there's absolutely some things that Disney does, I think, so fantastically when compared to other cruise lines. And I think I wanted to bring one up, and I have it written down here when we talked about doing this. One of the things I think that Disney does so well when we're talking about Disney Cruise Line is the bathroom setup. Boom.
I agree.
It makes a difference.
Because I'm not trying to be like sexist or anything, but like I sail with, 3 girls, you know what I'm saying? Like 3 women, now at this point, like, I mean, it's a life changer because, I can go in the bath with one side and I just take my stuff in the toilet. I get the toilet side. Sorry. That's just, I don't get the good side, but at least we can divide and conquer, and kind of ready for dinner that way. Yeah. If it wasn't a split bath, man, that'd be a mess.
It is. And that was like, Disney was really at the forefront of that, being like that they offer those in just about every stateroom category, except for the least expensive. Like that split bath, I think really improves the cruise experience. It makes getting ready easier. It makes being in the stateroom easier, all of that. So I think that they did, they really thought about the ways that they want to make their staterooms bigger. And when Disney Cruise Line first came out, their staterooms were and still are some of the larger staterooms out there. So I think that that's something that you sort of notice too. Like you just, I don't know. I think you may not notice to walk in and be like, oh, the stateroom's so much bigger. But I think what happens is as you're living in it, as you're, being there in it, it definitely makes a difference. So
very efficient is the word I use for the staterooms on Disney Cruise Line. Is there's a place for everything, and you can, if you think about like where you put things away, you can use your space very smartly with Disney Cruise. I mean, really with any cruise line if you pay attention to it. But now the resorts have learned from Cruise Line, right? With the raised beds, you put your suitcases under there.
Yeah,
you got closet space. You got a lot of space in the desk and the places like that. So yeah, I agree with that. I also want to say just kind of a primer. I just want to throw these out there for folks that maybe are unfamiliar with Disney Cruise Line or getting ready to go on a first Disney cruise or looking at them. How you can tell if you get a split or a regular bathroom. Standard inside stateroom will be a non-split bathroom. So there's very few of those, but if you book like an 11C, something that says standard inside will not have the split bath. But when you get something that says deluxe, you're getting a split. And most every stateroom will have a deluxe, the ocean views, the verandas. So just, you're looking for that word deluxe to get split bath, and
it's worth it.
Oh my! What did I say? Get it, dude. Get it. That is funny. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm so glad I got that. It is.
You're like,
not much more, and it is money well spent.
It's usually the increase in price is so small when you think about it.
I mean, it is. And people ask, like, okay, if I get like a 5B, a 5C, what that is, that's location within the stateroom category, because people ask about that a lot too. It's where it's located, like a deck, or like, is it midship or is it after? It's just, it's going to be a better, sometimes a slightly larger veranda. It's just within that category. It's either slightly better location within the ship, or maybe a slightly larger deck and a veranda. So people are asking, what's the difference between a 5C and a 5A? Yeah, could be a bigger veranda slightly. I mean, you're talking, a couple square feet. Okay. Rikki, though, I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think Disney Cruise Line does really, really well? What gets you excited about Disney Cruise Line?
I mean, I think heads and tails they do well over everyone else for the most part is their, live entertainment, their shows. They have the Walt Disney Theater for a reason. They put on Broadway caliber shows in this theater. And these really are like amazing shows that you can go see, that if you were on Broadway, if you were in New York, you'd pay a lot of money for these shows to see them. And here they are just being presented to you on a cruise ship. So, you know, I've definitely done some other cruise ships where the entertainment has been good, but definitely not to this caliber. So, and then that's not to just, you know, say the other shows that take place too. You know, you've got, like, of course, the Pirates of the Caribbean experience. You know, you've got with the fireworks. I mean, of course, Disney's the only one that does fireworks at sea. So, I mean, that's amazing. And, you know,
I love when other cruise ships like huddle around.
I was going to say,
when you're a veteran cruiser, look around. Like during
You'll see them.
You'll see out on the sea, you'll see other ships just kind of peeking out so they can watch our fireworks. It happens.
Well, actually, it was kind of funny too, because the night of I think it was the night of the 25th anniversary fireworks that they did on the Wish, the Magic was actually out there as well. So we got to see our fireworks for the 25th anniversary, and then we got to see their fireworks for Pirate Night. So that was kind of cool too. So we got to see both the fireworks just that way. But, you know, you have a lot of different unique shows and entertainment on Disney Cruise Line. One of the really cool things that we did on our cruise on the Disney Wish, and I'm guessing this is something they do on a, you know, normal basis. I'm not sure if I don't think they were getting ready for Halloween. I think this is actually something that they do. But they had it, basically it was kind of like an Oogie Boogie Bash. I don't exactly remember exactly what it was called, but they had this experience where, you know, you went up to this bar area that was right next to, actually it was right next to I think it was Vibe. And then they brought out Oogie Boogie. The whole idea was to you know, have Oogie Boogie appear in this, you know, area. And then there was going to be like this dance party, you know, next door in the area where they do all the sports and stuff like that. And so, you know, they brought out, they did this incantation, you know, Oogie Boogie showed up, you know, on a video screen. Oh, okay, cool, you know, whatever. And so then we were like, all right, let's just go check out the, you know, the dance, you know, hall area that they have going on. And then Oogie Boogie actually came out, like the character Oogie Boogie came out, and he actually danced with the guests that were, you know, in the party. They did all this really cool stuff. It was all themed to villains. So, you know, all the villains showed up on the screen, and they, you know, all had their own dances that you were supposed to do. The cast members, you know, yeah, there weren't a lot of people out on the dance floor, you know, but they did such a good job of trying to get people moving and dancing and stuff like that. But it was, I mean, if you are an Oogie Boogie fan and you want to meet Oogie Boogie, this is the best way to do it. Now, he doesn't, like, you know, stop. He's dancing the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but, you know, whenever he's out there. But, you know, I was able to take a selfie with it.
He's a big dude. I mean, that's a lot of dancing.
Exactly. I was able to take a selfie with him. I mean, it's not the best selfie because it was dark and, you know, everything, but I still have one. So, you know, that's cool. But again, the live entertainment that Disney does, just, you know, on a whim in that case, you know, kind of experience, you know, I mean, we didn't think it was going to be much. And then, you know, here Oogie Boogie comes out, and, you know, I mean, a character that people literally lose their minds over. And, you know, there he is on the ship. So I thought that was really cool.
I didn't even think about this, but when you think about it, that comparison there is kind of like a hard ticket event at Disneyland or Walt Disney World, like a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, or, you know, you got the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party, because you have the Very Merry Christmas Time sailings. You have the what am I forgetting? The Halloween
Marvel Day at Sea.
Yeah,
Pixar Days at Sea.
Yeah,
and of course, there's very limited to the Marvel. Every once in a while, the Star Wars sailings, select sailings. Sometimes you just got to watch for those. But the thing is, Disney Cruise Line has the opportunity to bring these for very specific audiences.
Mm-hmm.
What you get is a very, like you said, Rikki, you get a very intimate experience.
Oh, it was,
This is way better than a Oogie Boogie Bash, because you're not talking about all of Disneyland, you know, there at the park. You're talking probably, instead of thousands and thousands, you're probably talking hundreds of people that are.
I mean, I think there was probably like 50 to 70 people in that dance hall. Like there was not a lot of people. Once they figured out what it was, a lot of people figured out what it was and stuff like that. They like sort of started to split, So, but we stayed the whole time. We didn't dance because we're losers. But we definitely, we enjoyed watching the experience, and it was very entertaining, I have to admit. I mean, it was a little hokey. Yeah, of course it was a little hokey, but it was still really fun to experience.
They call you a wallflower.
No, I was definitely a wallflower, 100%. Yes.
But when we think about the cost of a hard ticket event, I mean, that's a value add to your cruise.
It's true. It's true.
And,
yeah. And like I said, I don't know if this is something that they do all the time, or if maybe they were getting ready for Halloween, because it was in August. So, the Halloween sailing started in September. So I don't know if it was like something they were trying out to get ready for this, but yeah, practicing. But
let's see what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. But it was still a really cool thing, that I got to experience. So yeah.
And I will say too, those ships, because I've still never done a one of the specialty cruises, because again, my wife's still teaching for at least another couple of years, and then once she retires, we'll have the opportunity. I'm excited for that kind of stuff. Like we'll be able to go in the fall, in winter time. But I mean, those like to have in the atrium, that big tree, the Halloween tree.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because Pam, you've been on the ships, I'm sure, during these seasons. I mean, don't they kind of transform the ships into magical places?
Yeah, it's really cool just like in the parks and resorts, Disney Cruise Line has a ton of different decorations based on whatever season that you're sailing in. They have great fall decorations. They have great holiday decorations. They just do a really good job with that. And too, when they have sort of these, the holiday sort of sailings, they also offer different activities. They don't just offer the standard activities. They offer a list of activities that sort of goes with that holiday, which I think is a really cool thing too. They have, 4th of July, not really the decor quite as much, but again, we got to see 4th of July fireworks. I mean, that was really kind of a cool thing. So I think that Disney, we know that they know how to do decorating and special events, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, because Rikki mentioned live entertainment. I thought for sure, we're talking about the Broadway shows, which we did. But, prime example is on that 4th of July, we watched the 4th of July fireworks, but Scott and I, Scott pointed this out to me. We're watching the fireworks, but a live band played the soundtrack for the fireworks.
Cool.
There was not like a pre-recorded soundtrack.
Right.
Like, there was a band down on the deck. Like the drummer was, that guy must have been drowned in sweat because it was so hot that night.
It was hot.
We're out at sea and these fireworks are going just a mile a minute. And the band's playing for all they got. But it's a live band playing a soundtrack to fireworks. That is incredible. And it 90% of the people probably had no idea that the band was playing that soundtrack.
Right. It's true.
That's like, look, that's the band playing the soundtrack for the fire. And that's something that's just, it was more entertaining because that's talent. That's entertainment. That was a Disney difference. Okay, so you mentioned and again, I think we should mention that Virgin Cruise, that's adults only, right?
Virgin Voyages is adults only. Yes, it is. It is.
People know. So that it's gonna be a different dynamic, different audience. So
it is
dining. I will say that one of the things I kind of wrote down for this show that I want to bring up was the rotational dining that kind of Disney Cruise Line pioneered back in the day with the Magic and the Wonder, and they continue to do to this day. When you think about the audience for Disney Cruise Line, it's primarily families, but I can tell you what, adults only can have a great time with Disney Cruise Line because there's great entertainment in the evenings down in the adults area. You can stay up in the adult pool all day. You can go to the rainforest room and chill out on, there's so many ways that you can go as a couple and honeymoon and have a great time. Trust me. You can go to Serenity Bay on the private island at Castaway Cay. Lighthouse Point will have spots. It doesn't have to be just for families. However, families are in mind with Disney Cruise Line because it's, it's Disney.
I think that Disney. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, but I think it's good balance.
I think that on a cruise line where you have all, you have adults and kids, I think that Disney Cruise Line actually sort of separates the ship better than other cruise lines out there that also 100%. Do the same thing. Yeah. They have specific areas, and we've talked about this. As you see kids walking into the adult area, the cast members will step in and say, no, this area is reserved for people 18 years of older. is even so far that in their adult only dining venues, we'll have people every now and then who'll be like, well, my child's really well behaved. They're 16, but they're really well behaved. And it's like, well, no, like if you aren't 18 on the day that the cruise line sails, you will not be able to dine in the adult venues. They are very strict about it. And of course they know the person's age because you provide that during the booking process, show with your passport, whatnot. So I think that Disney just does that extraordinarily well. They're very aware of the fact that they want everyone to have a space to go to, and that includes the adults only. So they do a great job.
Because you can't really make exceptions, because if you make an exception here, I hate to be like that, but I mean, as a teacher, right? And if you make an exception for one child, do this, once you blur that line, it's really hard to ever have a delineation, how you're going to do that. So Disney Cruise Line, like you said, very clearly has everybody's information because of passports, birth certificates, all that stuff. And the thing is, if somebody's 17 and they want to go to Palo, I understand, but that's something to look forward to possibly on your next cruise. And that's just how it has to be. And that experience, this is how you kind of safeguard the experience to make it an adults only experience. But I will say though, what I was getting to was that the rotational dining, and I really enjoyed this on the Wish because I'm not a Marvel fan, but that, the thing is, when you go to Walt Disney World, one of the reasons I think a lot of people go to Walt Disney World I talk to my guests all the time, is that they want to have character dining, right? They want to go to Chef Mickey's. They want to go to Crystal Palace. They want to eat at Garden Grill with Chippendale, fill in whatever character dining, okay, Tusker House, wherever you want to go. But character dining is like way high on people's list of experiences to have at Walt Disney World. So when you go on a Disney cruise, they're nailing this now with, for example, when you eat in Norway on the Wish, I mean, that was wild. That was dinner and a show and more. I mean,
and more, and a character reading and everything.
I mean, Olaf's rolling by, like heckling you, like at your table. Like, I mean, you could get pictures with yeah. I mean, you got a concert happening in the middle of the restaurant. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I was hot. Like I was sweating by the end of that meal. I think I burned like as many calories as I ate. I ate a lot because they brought out this big puff thing. It was awesome. I wish I had that tonight. But
that puff thing was so good, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Well, bring me one. Scott took a picture like next to his head with it. That was wild. But I mean, the thing was, the meal in that place was almost frantic. It was wild. Like it was an experience, and it's totally different than what Pam was mentioning. Because I'm picturing like you have all these like fancy, like nice sit down restaurants. That's an adults only cruise, and there's a place for everything, right? But I couldn't do that meal like more than once on a cruise. Like that, it was like it would exhaust me. Like, but it was fun. Like I'm still talking about it because it was a wild experience, and we were waving the napkins and woo. People were like, bus boys were sword fighting. I mean, I still can't believe it. If people would have started throwing chairs at each other, I might not have been surprised. It would have been crazy. But it was an experience, and then you had the Marvel characters the next night, and you got around, and I loved 1923 because you got that taste of, kind of like we talked on Wednesday, it felt like you were almost like getting a taste of the Disney, like, okay, you're a Disney fan. Here's a little taste of the archives. You're not going into the archives, but here's like a sketch, here's something you'll appreciate because you're a Disney fan and you're on a Disney Cruise Line ship. And I think it's great because it takes you don't have to like schedule an ADR, it takes the work out of it. Like you're going to have a character dining experience. You're going to have Spider-Man come in and meet you, and blow your kid's mind or blow your mind as a Marvel fan during your meal. You're going to have good food. You're going to have story. It's more than a meal. It's a meal and a show. I really like it. I mean, I see where if you go time and time again on the same ship, it does kind of become probably not as exciting, but then you have the option to probably go up and get the buffet. If you're an adult, you have the option to go to Ishante or go to Palo. You have other options to dine, but I think, Disney Cruise Line nails it with the rotational dining. I like it. I really do. I think
that they're giving their guests what they want, and they do provide not just the regular dining rooms, but they also do have the adult only venues with Palo and on some ships Enchanté. And so it is something that you can really experience, no matter what your dining needs are. They also, one of the things I think that they did really extraordinarily well on the Wish was that their quick service locations on that ship were so good and just have a really varied sort of offerings in terms of what you're looking for. You'll be able to find it. It's not just pizza and burgers and hot dogs. And if you want that, right, if you want it, it's available. Not only that, they upped the pizza game on the Wish a lot, right?
We all not go for one of those pizzas tonight, like
right? It was actually a decent pizza.
Pizza tastes so good on a cruise ship late at night. Like 11 o'clock pizza on a cruise ship hits different. It's different. Oh,
it is. It's true. But then, to also bring in the barbecue location and sort of that Tex-Mex location, I think was a great offering as well. It's like you have a little floating Chipotle on the ship. I mean, really and truly, that's what it's like. You just sort of go and build like your burrito or your tacos or your salad or your rice bowl or whatever. But they have all those options and more. And I think that's something that was really sort of needed because there are, especially when I think there's a couple different things. Like if you get tired of, or you don't want to even just go to the main dining room, to have an actual, like some other choices, I think is necessary and needed. And then to have, if you want a more adult experience, to have those options too. I think that's the great thing about a cruise ship. They should be delivering these different experiences to you. So
that's God's greatest food court at sea, by the way. I'm just saying. I'm just calling that. They should rename it God's greatest food court.
Touched by God. Wow.
Because it also has soft serve ice cream around the corner. Okay. So it's got let's take this back. It's got awesome pizza. It's got burritos and burrito bowls and tacos. It's got ribs. It's got all kinds of barbecue. It's
mac and cheese.
I forgot about that mac and cheese. It's got all kinds of barbecue sides. It's got what else? It's got chicken tenders. It's got little sandwiches. It's got burgers.
I think that their burgers are good for some reason. I don't know if it's just like I typically only have it like once a cruise, and it's probably I don't know when I'm hungry, but I think that their burgers are decent.
I'm telling you, this is God's greatest food court at sea. That's the name of it. Forget what it's called, really. Hey, but here's the only problem with it. It needs to have longer hours because it wasn't open as long as it needed to be. It needs to be 24 hours. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know if it's 24 hours, but I agree with you.
4 in the morning would hit hard, too. Burrito at 4 in the morning? Oh.
I mean, that's true. People would probably eat a burrito at 4 o'clock in the morning, not going to lie. So, yeah. But
we make things happen, but not on a Friday. Usually it's on a Monday, but we'll do what we can for people who are sailing soon. But I think that's great. And I really hope that they do. That's something to wish. And hopefully the Treasure, and because the Treasure's kind of more rugged. So maybe barbecue though. That's kind of that's a good match. I'm trying to think don't mess with it. Just bring the same food court to the Treasure.
I'm sure they will too.
Change anything up. Just throw it in the copy machine and bring it right there. You can change the names. I don't care. Just bring the same food. Okay, Rikki, give us one more thing, though, you think Disney Cruise Line does really, really well that you like.
I mean, you've got the Aqua Mouse, you've got the Aqueduct, and you've got the Aquadunk. I mean, hello. I haven't either because it terrifies me. I don't like when things drop out from the bottom of me. I don't like.
It's ironic because it's on the classic ship, but it's the scariest of all.
I'm not about the floor dropping out from underneath me. That's not okay with me.
So hang on. So here, I heard a story one time that so one of our agents went on the Magic the other day, and so Steve Baker, I think I was talking to him via text, and he's like, he's on the Magic, and he's like wanted to ride a water slide, so he got put into got the line, was all nervous, and he was riding it at night, and it was like on pirate night, and they're out at sea, and there was like they're looking out on the horizon, they thought they saw a pirate ship, they thought it was what's that called, what's the one in Pirates?
Jolly Roger.
No, it's the Flying Dutchman. that what it is?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Might be the Flying Dutchman. They're not sure. Anyway, he's like all nervous talking to his friend Rick. They're sailing together there, and they're in line. But all of a sudden, it's his turn, right? So they, he comes up, takes off his water shoes, and gets in there. He's got his Mickey's trunks on, and they put him into the tube, right? And so they tell him, the cast members all happy, load him into the tube on the magic on the aqua mouse or the aqua dunk, and they tell him cross your arms. And so they tell him not to look down. But at the last minute, he did look down.
Right. Yeah, I can only imagine what he saw.
He saw Goofy with a chainsaw.
I knew it was gonna give me the chainsaw.
Right there on the mesh.
I knew where their story was going from the second he started telling it, and I'm sure the rest of the audience did too. Yeah. You could have, see, here's the other thing you could have gone with. You could have gone with, he's going up on the aqua mouse, up the hill, you're getting up there, you're seeing all the story, and then all of a sudden Goofy pops out with a chainsaw. So, I'm just saying.
But he fell on him like that. Can you imagine they pushed the button and then all of a sudden Goofy the chainsaw is right there?
That would be a very bad thing. No. That would be
anyway,
messy.
so I forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, so go ahead.
Anyway, that's fine. Yes, no, that's all I have to say. You've got the aqua duck, the aqua dunk, and the aqua mouse, and all are fantastic options. They're all a lot of fun. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that because you ruined it with Goofy with the chains. I'm just joking.
For the record, I think they just went to Disneyland. They actually didn't film the Disney Cruise Line, but who knows? They could have.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Pam, give us. I said to throw it in there. I was dying to use that, and I'm like, okay, how can I put this in?
How can I put this in here? But you did it.
I'm only going to say my next one if Goofy with the chainsaw doesn't show up.
You can't promise anything, Pam.
Okay, you got it.
No. So I think we'd be terribly remiss if we did not mention that one of the things that Disney Cruise Line does so well is all of the options available for kids. The kids clubs. Exactly. I mean, they do it better than anyone else out there. They just have really engaging kids clubs. I mean, just to walk through, if you haven't ever done this, the next time you're on a Disney Cruise Line on the first day when you board, they'll have an open house, open mouse, whatever they're calling it at that point, right? And you can walk through.
I wish they called it the open mouse. I feel like they should. If they don't, they are missing out on something right now. So,
but you can walk through the kids clubs and really see the spaces where the kids get to play, and especially on the Wish. Now they're impressive on all of the ships, right? But they stepped it up a notch on the Wish. God, yeah. First of all, you get to go down a slide from the lobby down.
Bottom of the slide.
No.
Yes.
Goofy with a chainsaw.
Thankfully, that is not the case.
He wasn't in the kids club. That'd be mean.
This is one of our predictions that we will not make happen.
No, we will not make this happen.
This will never happen. But then you're walking through the different spaces. And there's a princess area where the dresses are, so you can dress up like Anna and Elsa and Tiana and all the different Disney princesses, right? They have that space. There's a Star Wars area where you're walking through there. There's Marvel areas. There's just, I mean, really and truly, they knocked it out of the park with the kids clubs. You get to, drive the Millennium Falcon. There's an area where there's Imagineering and you can be riding the roller coaster that you designed. There's all these different things and they're all just really incredible. And they really have such a great caliber of cast members. All the cast members on the ship are fantastic. And the ones that work in the kids club are even a step above that, just in terms of what they look for, what they require, all of that. They just do a great job. And who else can you trust but Disney, I think, in this space? I mean, they consider the safety of their guests and especially their smallest guests to be one of their highest priorities. So they do a fantastic job and always love to see that. And the activities that they have, besides the spaces just being incredible, the activities that they have going on in those spaces is fantastic too. And if you don't know this, they even have a nursery for their youngest of sailors. And it is a really sweet space on the Wish in particular. But all of them is that it's themed after It's a Small World, and it's a really beautiful space. So anyways, yeah, definitely. Disney does that so well.
I will say too, the kids areas, I mean, all the way up through Vibe and Edge, those folks that work in there do a great job of having the kids build relationships. I mean, you see, because these kids come from all over the world, you know, they're strangers when they board the ship, but I mean, how quickly those relationships get built, because you'll see like day 2, day 3, these kids are running around like they've been best friends for like 10 years. It's wild. You see that on every stage. We've seen that, right? I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm going to run. Like, you just met this kid 48 hours ago, but it's like they act like they've been best friends forever. And I think that's a credit to the activities and the kind of the team building and the relationship building that they're doing within these areas. I like that.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, hey, that is going to do it for our show today. We want to hear what you think. If you've sailed on Disney Cruise Line, what do you like best about Disney Cruise Line? And what have you seen maybe on other cruise lines you wish Disney Cruise Line would implement? That's kind of a fun thing to think about as well. But it's time to get out there and have fun this weekend. But thanks for taking the show with you. We appreciate that so very much. Don't forget, our podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. And we'd love to help you plan a Disney cruise this weekend. That's what we do. And that's one of my specialties, really. I book a lot of Disney cruises for guests, and I'd love to help you. And here's the best part. It's going to cost you exactly the same working with us at the Magic for Less Travel, and you're going to get an onboard credit. You're going to have money waiting for you in your onboard folio when you arrive on the Dream, the Fantasy, the Wish, the Magic, the Wonder, and you get to have fun with that. You can, a couple of drinks. Actually, sometimes you get a lot of drinks. You can go shopping because there's a lot of stuff to buy on the Disney Cruise Line. Get spa treatments, whatever you want. My one rule is don't use it for the gratuities. If you do, don't tell me. Just think. Because you got to have fun with it. Spoil yourself. Have fun. But come on over to the magicforless.com, fill out that quote form. We'll take care of you from there. Those ships go all over the place. You can see Alaska. You can see the Med. You can go, of course, to the Bahamas, the Caribbean. That's where a lot of folks go for the very first time. But you can see the world with Disney Cruise Line. And it is so much fun. It's my favorite Disney vacation. I mean, I'll just say it. I love sailing with the Disney Cruise Line. We're going to the Eastern Caribbean in July. Cannot wait for that. So just swing by the website. Again, we can help you with Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney as well, over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who allow us to have all this fun and get some fun toys like the mixer that allowed us to do with the chainsaw this year. So come over patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You get a bonus show as well called Mike in the Midwest every week. $5 a month, not a lot, and it really supports everything we do. So again, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. We'll have our live show this Sunday night, so join us for that. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So please give us a call. We had a great time last Sunday night, so many great calls. So let's do it again this Sunday night, and give us a follow on the socials. Ricky Nibs, TMFLT Pam, Be Our Guest Mike, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. All right, we're going to jump out of here, and we'll be back again on Monday with another fun trip report, and then we'll do it all over again. Don't forget, Monday next week, probably a live call-in show on Monday, so please be prepared for that 5:30 Eastern-ish. But instead of static listener questions, I'll probably have the phone lines open, so we'll take live listener questions to do something a little bit different. So please mark that out, put that in pen in your little Google Calendar or whatever you got to do. Join me, because it might be just Mike flying solo. We might have Scott, but that could be funny. We'll see. I'm not trying to put him through pain. We'll figure that out. Yeah, it'll be, because dude's coming out of 8 days in Hawaii. That'll be wild. Anyway, we're going to have a good time this weekend. I hope you will too. It's homecoming at Mizzou. It's a special weekend, so I hope you have a great weekend planned as well. So for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike saying stay safe, stay healthy, and MIZ. Yes, Jay was active, man. He was keeping us busy.
Cool.
All right.
Mike, I'll text you later.
All right.
Okay. All I will
you
see
guys.
you
All
later.
right, see y'all.
Thanks. Bye. Nope. Working here, edited, free, save. All right, see y'all.